character or a non-main character.
Forgettable villain.
I think that happened with a couple of characters in Gryffindor as well. You're on the main character team and you still get replaced.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
Who's the main character of this game? Well, I guess Tundra, this self-proclaimed Slytherin.
They talk in tongues. They've got this
now.
The, snake talk. I forget what it's called, but for another time.
They do have a snake on their team, the Naga Siren.
Is that a snake?
Are eels snakes?
Is that an eel? Is that what Naga is supposed to be?
I don't know. Anyway, I don't think the Naga Nature's Prophet matchup is actually that bad.
Yeah.
I've seen, like, I think I had this in a public yesterday. I was playing with a Nature's carry against Naga, and I think if you have an item advantage, or if you have, you know, decent farm on a Nature's, which you can get a lot of farm on that hero because of the ability to literally globally teleport and also farm camps that nobody else can farm. You can deal with the illusions with like a Gleipnir, and you do enough damage to actually catch her out and kill her. But if Skeeter gets ahead, then it looks really bad. It's all about the items. Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to get ahead of them, right? Like Tundra plays this fast and loose kind of style. They've played very run at you and aggressive Dota.
Yeah, but Liquid has, you know, Death Prophet, Nature's Prophet. I feel like that's some insanely fast tower push / pressure. So I do think that they actually have a draft that can get a lead. I mean, so long as they don't lose all of the lanes. Like, no, the Night Stalker lane against Naga is really bad too. I remember there was a while there that people were picking Naga against Night Stalker and basically soloing the Naga in the lane as like a 1v2. And Night Stalker is so bad against that hero that you can genuinely 1v2 against most position 4s. However, with that being said, you know, Zai's got a Wisp. I think we've talked about this a few times throughout this tournament, but if you have a Wisp in your lane, you always farm. So, but it's not like Naga ever really destroyed a Night Stalker. It was more so that you could 1v2 and just get solo XP on a hero that's not supposed to get solo XP. Like, a Naga's not supposed to be, you know, a hero that could just sit in a lane and be level 6 at 5 minutes, you know? But against a Night Stalker, you can. So we'll see how this goes with the IO.
A lot of global presence for Liquid having the IO and the Nature's Prophet, and usually you'll see like an IO kind of paired up with somebody to be global with, and it's normally the carry. But since obviously you've got the carry of the Nature's Prophet, you don't really need help in being global when you've got that teleportation. Is it really just, does that change the way you play the IO a little bit? Are you still just looking to play aggressively like you would a carry and be relocating into fights all the time? Or is it more you're trying to maybe conserve it a little bit and use it more for saves?
Probably more for saves, honestly, because like the way you would play with an IO is you would take the basically garbage farm on the map that like somebody else doesn't want to take. You'd just be really far away from your team and then relocate to your team. But that's what Nature's Prophet does as well. It's like the safe lane is abandoned by everybody else, and Nature's Prophet takes the safe lane and then TPs to the team. So you can't really have 2 heroes doing that because there are only 3 lanes in Dota. You know, if there are 4 lanes, then maybe sure. So I do think that Boxy will probably just be sitting with Zai all game and going for kills, or maybe even tethering Nikke. Like, Death Prophet's not a bad tether target either. Very fast hero, and a hero who really enjoys the spell lifesteal and the healing and the spell amp.
Running at people and having that extra move speed with the Spirit Siphon, certainly not a bad thing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They changed the Spirit Siphon fear on the shard, but like I could definitely see that being a big issue if you're tethered up, Spirit Siphoning, and all of a sudden you're getting feared for a second and a half running away.
Yep. Although they did, what I am curious about is with the Death Prophet, they nerfed it to do 50% building damage, but I know that it was doing 50% damage to creeps instead of 50% damage to buildings. It was still doing the huge damage to buildings, so I'm curious if that actually got fixed, because I didn't see any patch notes on that. But with a lot of these hotfixes, you don't actually see what patch got fixed in. It just ends up being fixed, and you don't know exactly when it happened.
Yeah, I didn't see any NA players tweet about it. I feel like I get a lot of my bug abuse news from NA pro players.
That's where I saw it. I saw Sammy Boy tweet about it, actually.
I didn't see him tweet about the fix yet, so I have no idea.
Oh, the fix. I see, yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying I was waiting for the news from maybe him or somebody else.
Yeah, they are great news outlets these days. We only have 2 slots for majors, so they're very bored and spending their time reporting bugs.
They're taking some damage here, and by some, it's really quite a bit. They are trying to chase, and he's not going to be able to survive. He got hit with the telekinesis, and that was just enough to make sure that they were able to take out the Visage all by himself without that Treant Protector. So Sock's a little bit far behind this Visage to even get the save, and all of a sudden Liquid have a 1k advantage with just that first blood.
I've seen a lot of Rubiks go for telekinesis level 1, so it doesn't surprise me that Insania levels it up in this lane, especially because you can lift behind the Treants and then Treant block, which netted them that kill. So making good use of those buffs to the Rubik telekinesis at level 1.
Yeah, for the longest time that spell was just a skip level 1.
Yeah, it was terrible. Like people would even go 0, 2, 1.
It was really bad.
All right. Okay, so Insania goes and picks up the 4-minute rune. I know that's a question that the panel had, and definitely a question that I had as well, is like, how much does Liquid focus on making Mickey's lane good? And it looks like they're going to be focused on it because a lot of the time supports will go for the 6-minute rune, but not the 4-minute rune because it's just a water rune. That's always like a question point where it's like, do they do it? Do they not do it? It depends on the matchup, but they decide it's worth it in this case. So I imagine at 6 minutes, it's going to be a free-for-all mid.
Long live the days of a 3v3 mid very early on into the game. You used to see that a lot where it was just like 2 minutes in and all of a sudden everybody's having a party.
Yeah, now it's more at that 6-minute mark with the runes only spawning at that point, which I think is better. It's easier to play around because you know that like almost always. Actually, never mind. Just kidding. They're going to go at 5 minutes because Mickey has his ult. This is a really nice rotation.
Looks like Exorcism's still doing a lot of damage to the tower.
That looks like full damage. That
looks like a lot of damage. Telekinesis inks well, and well, they get the stun on the Mickey. They're trying to get the kill, but they end up losing 9. And
wow,
back onto the
range
tower.
And the catapult's still alive too.
Oh boy.
This is a huge rotation.
Yeah, that... Maybe I'm deceived by the catapult also being there. I don't know.
I can't
seems
tell.
Like a lot of damage.
The living armor doesn't help with the calculations either. That's not if I could see the damage numbers, if I was in the game.
Let's see it again. I still can't tell the numbers. It looks like a lot, but it's more about the kills.
It looks like a lot, but he is closer to the tower too. If you stand close to the tower with Exo, it does literally triple the amount of damage. So that also doesn't help with the running those calculations there.
Also doesn't help that we're both NA.
We are both NA and also both Hufflepuff, so we're good here.
So wait, we're also stupid and side characters? Come on.
Yeah, I think
gotta have something going for us. Insania getting run down a little bit and maybe gonna die to the Soul Assumption. And by maybe, I mean definitely. It's only a level 1 Soul Assumption, but more than enough damage to get that kill onto the Rubik.
Yeah, that ability is nuts at level 1. 250 damage nuke on a 4-second cooldown. The only problem is the mana cost. If they reduce the mana cost on that ability like at all, Visage would be completely busted. I mean, he might already be completely busted because these teams really seem to like Visage.
He still
level
feels
6
strong
already. Yeah, he feels good. I think the Vlad's change really helps him. Like any hero that likes to get a Vlad's has got to be good right now.
And I think a lot of teams definitely have the possibility of playing it. I know they didn't play it in the regional finals, but Faith Beyond's a big Visage player as well, if given the opportunity. All of a sudden, the familiars come out. Matoma Man in some trouble. Telekinesis throws a familiar right on top of 3-3, but now they've got the tether, the Inkswell, trying to land onto these heroes. Don't get close enough, and 33 and Soxa need to leave.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Boxy's going for spirits. Usually you see IOs maxing the tether and overcharge and just buffing the hell out of somebody, but you know, I think the spirits make sense in this game because Rubik has their other support, so they don't really have that much damage between them. Nature's Prophet, like Death Prophet's really the only damage dealer for the early game, so I like a couple of points in the spirits. I think this makes sense.
Saksa again in some trouble and run down even though he got to the high ground. Liquid are kind of quietly taking a 2K lead. Yeah, they've only got 3 kills, but they are doing quite a bit in terms of the farm. That being said, 9 shows up top. Skeeter gets a kill onto Zai, and this is starting to become a bit of an open lane for the Naga Siren because of the fact that Liquid have spent a lot of time over bottom and towards that mid lane.
Yeah, you can see the level discrepancy between the heroes up here. Night Stalker level 5, Naga Siren level 7, almost level 8. This is precisely why people pick the hero against the Night Stalker. It's like, until he gets a rotation, he's not getting any kills, but you can deny basically every single creep, and Night Stalker, even with help, is not really going to zone you out of lane. You just put the illusions on him, and he feels really bad and has to run away from you. He's got nothing to clear them. It's a sad matchup, and it's not like Beastmaster where you can skill Axis to deal with the illusion type hero. There's no equivalent of that on Night Stalker. Zai's maxed the nuke, but it only does so much. Well, you know, it's on 1 unit.
So Matoma Man, he's coming up towards the top lane to try and take care of this tower. And when you're playing up against Treant, you really need to commit. Cannot let these towers live on a minuscule amount of health, otherwise slowly but surely they'll start to get that health back and all of this work will be for naught. That being said, Liquid, uncontested, they'll take the tower.
It's definitely less true now though with how the living armor works, how it's got like double uptime, like you know have 2 of them up at once. But the healing is reduced, so I like that it's not as insane as it was before, because before it felt like he presses fortification and then by the time you attack the tower again it's just full HP. That's how it felt before. Now it's like it's a little more balanced. Like you see the mid tower went down even though there was a defense of the mid tower.
So they've taken out the mid tier 1 and the top tier 1. And Skeeter's got quite a bit to this point, but I guess the question now becomes, can he continue that as the jungle's kind of opened up for the side of Liquid to invade? We haven't really talked about 9 either. I feel like he's been a little bit quiet this game. He did die over mid. He had that 1 assist over top. He's gotten 3 null talismans going into the Witchblade, and he's got a double damage ready to go in the bottle. So if you can find anybody, it's going to be worth his while to get that kill, but you see where he's standing in the net worth, and it's just about equal. He's just getting ahead of his own Visage.
You know, I love this Witchblade build. I feel like it's really strong. It makes a lot of sense with how people play Storm Spirit currently. People don't really like going for the Orchid because it's not an int item anymore. It's pretty expensive. And you get so much value out of null talismans. Like, it feels like you just get these, you can like infinitely zip on people. So why not go for an item that's going to help you like full to 0 somebody that also scales, that you can build into whatever that brooch item is called eventually in the late game that's incredibly strong on Storm Spirit.
The Revenant's Brooch.
Revenant's Brooch. Yes, Brooch. No, Brooch.
Go for the Rubik, and they've lost 33, but Insania falls. There was a kill there on 33 while that fight was happening and cleaning up these familiars. So that's 100 gold. That's 100 more. 200 gold certainly worth it there for Zai, who picks up a lot of net worth on that. Is it
getting a Midas?
Is it actually Brooch?
Yeah, it's B-R-O-O-C-H.
That's not the spelling. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I thought that was just the spelling of brooch.
I thought brooch had an A. I mean, this is why we're Hufflepuff, dog.
Anybody want to give us that confirmation?
No, please don't. Please forget all about it.
Oh gosh.
You know, Storm with the Witchblade also, I hate to keep harping on about the one item, but it's just a new thing I find so cool. It makes him so tanky too. Like, it makes it really hard to burst him in your disables, and then if you don't burst the Storm, what does he do? He just zips away from you. It's like it gives him just that much effective HP that lets him get away in other situations where you just burst him full to 0. I also really like the BKB rush build. That's another really good one. Like the new storm builds that people are doing are making him really strong.
But Tundra TP'd in behind this. They're going to try and at least take him out as they've got the silence on a 9, so he wasn't able to ball lightning as consistently. They get the kill on a Snake King. They'll take out Tundra, the overgrowth thrown out by Saksa. And with the damage coming through, they'll take out Boxy. Look over at Zion. That's 3 kills for the side of Tundra. Liquid were trying to take advantage of the positioning of Tundra, but unfortunately they get caught out. Mickey might be next. We've got the familiars moving in, maybe looking to slam it down. They'll ring the bell once, ring the bell twice of these familiars. They've got the Vortex, but now surviving a little bit longer with the Yules, just not long enough, and the inevitable kill comes, and 33 gets credit for it.
Yep, that's right as 9 picks up his Witchblade, so they know they have enough damage. Also, Saksa is maxing out the Leech Seed, so that's doing a massive amount of damage as well. All they have to do is kite, which is very easy to do with the drums that they have on 33. He also Stone Form. I see. That's not the Aghanim Shard. He can't get that until 15 minutes. He's got some cosmetic that makes that look really cool, the Stone Form on his familiars. Anyway, 9 smoked up mid. As we go back to the replay, 9 was very patient with this, just sitting there, hiding in the trees, baiting Snake King. I don't know if he was showing on some ward. I don't think he was.
I believe so. It's right to the right of them.
Oh yeah, it was.
Out. Actually,
I don't know if they fought 9 like TP'd away or something.
Getting even more kills as this is going on. They'll get back into it. Zion Boxy will fall to Skeeter. All lightning away by 9, so he'll get out safe. They've got the silence. There's the Yules. That'll keep Skeeter here, and it looks like the Naga Siren will end up dead. Didn't have the mana to get the Song of the Siren off. So they get 3 kills. They force a buyback from the IO, and now all they lose at the moment is the Naga Siren, but that's a costly one.
Yeah, 3 for 1 and a buyback, so I guess Tundra's probably decently okay with that. You've also forced out the Death Prophet ulti, which means there's no threat of Roche or any of these tier 2s falling down. It did just hit Natural Night, though. Oh, back at the replay. Hopefully nothing happens during this time.
Good telekinesis, slammed it down onto 3, but still wasn't able to keep alive Zion. I believe Boxy's going to fall here and buy back immediately. They got the Soulbind out, and then they get the kill onto 2. And yeah, trying to TP out there is Skeeter, but he's not going to be able to do so. Duels from Mickey. Make sure that they can at least get the kill on the Naga Siren. And while that was happening, Zion's up dead to 9. He's 4-1-5.
Yeah, they smoked on him and then pressed Ink Swell, which seems to pair with basically every strong meta hero currently.
Anybody who's got a movement spell, it works with.
Yeah. I also think it works really well. Like, there's a lot of heroes in Dota that can take somebody from full HP to like almost dead, but not quite enough. Like Sand King's one of those we've talked about. Storm is definitely one of those tiny. Chaos Knight, although Chaos Knight can just fold to 0 somebody. Who am I kidding?
Ooh, Insania. Yeah, he got a little bit baited by Saksa there. Seen the Nature's Grasp and maybe looking to make something happen, but
he wanted a spell. That's what he wanted. He was bored. Yeah. He's like, come on, give me a spell.
Be something juicy. Use Overgrowth by accident.
Oh yeah. Maybe he probably wanted the living armor.
What level is it? It's level 3 now, so
9 bonus armor, 25 seconds. Pretty wild.
Has those arcane boots now, going into the Blink Dagger, then the BKB. He got
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's got the Midas on the Night Stalker. Take a look at the Rubik real quick. He's only got arcane boots, so let's see what he goes for if it's going to be a Blink Dagger. I clicked on the
like a recovery Midas from Zai almost. Like he knows he needs items that have an impact in this game, like a lot of items.
Ooh. They kind of wanted to go there. We've got drums on Visage. Could eventually make that into Boots of Bearing if he wants to. He did pick up face boots, so it's not exactly gonna build right in, right? Because he needed Tranquils as well.
I like the phase boots. There's so much so much physical damage coming out from Liquid. Like Nature's Death Prophet and Night Stalker are like all physical. So if you can just survive that, I think he already is tanky enough to survive magical damage that they're doing. If he can survive like the Exo damage and the Night Stalker right clicks.
Would it be worth also picking up the Tranquils to get the Boots of Bearing?
Yeah, for sure.
Fate
eventually.
stolen. Zai will get a kill on a Snake King, and Tundra not looking to take that fight at all. They immediately bail from that one, and again, he's got
an
the
arcane.
Nagasar and just continuing to farm up.
Wait,
They're
did
going to
Skeeter
Roche.
TP bot? No, he didn't. He walked bot. So he could go and try to Song Roche, but it doesn't look like he's particularly interested in that.
Definitely too late.
He's coming. It's a little too late, though.
Yeah. All right. So, oh! I swore for a second. I mean, the timing had to be perfect. 9 went for it. I respect
He
it.
did. He did. They're winning. That seems like the sort of play that you want to make when you're behind. That makes me think that they feel like they're more behind than they are, even though it's 12 to 8.
That's a down 10K, up 10K kind of move.
Yeah, that's a bit of a throw. I mean, he was 4-1-5 at that point, and about to get his BKB.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, Night Stalker just dumpster Storm until Storm gets the BKB. You can see exactly why. It's like you just press silence and it's instant cast now, that Crippling Fear. It used to be like a 0.2 second cast time or something like that, but now you press it and it's just silenced. So it's like not even a high skill thing to catch a Storm out. It's like you see him, you press it.
And once he gets that BKB, he'll have a lot more survivability. Meanwhile, the Naga Siren almost has the Ag, so the upgraded Ensnare. That'll be nice to have. They have found themselves Saksa.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And with the Crypt Storm, they'll take the life of the tree. They still have this tier 1 mid standing.
Yeah, they do.
Minutes
They
in.
do.
Pretty impressive.
Tundra does not exactly have an excellent way of pushing. Like Visage is their offlane Visage is their best push hero, and I mean, let's be real. Like the birds don't push towers that fast. They really don't. They like maybe with like the old Drow or the Luna maybe, but yeah, it's no Leshrac or something like that. You know, no Death Prophet.
Right. So, what's currently the go-to move at the moment? Like, what are you trying to accomplish for both teams?
Liquid is waiting for 3 BKBs. They just finished their BKB on Zai. Their next one is on Mickey, who almost has it, and then they almost have theirs on Matumba Man. So it would make absolutely 0 sense to go fight right now. They're gonna wait for that. I think on the other side, it's probably similar thoughts. 9 almost has his BKB. Naga just picked up his Ags. They know they're playing into an Aegis, so there's potential that maybe they just want to try to wait out the Aegis and then fight, because also you're going to be avoiding the 3 BKB timing. It's about to happen as well.
Snaking in an interesting spot to break this smoke. And he also gives up a level 4 Stroke of Fate. Never really a spell. There's a lot of spells you really don't want to give up to the Rubik. That one's going to start hurting.
Yeah, and we know how Insania likes to play with this Rubik position 5. He gets to farm and push waves now, which he's going to be happy about. It's also more nukes to steal kills with, which is great. He likes to do that.
Peter's got the Ags. He's going for the Scotty next. He's got a lot of gold. He is sitting top of the net worth, level 15 as well, compared to Matoma Man. He is a little bit back in levels. He's about a full level behind and 2K behind there too, so it'll be interesting to see how they fight this. They didn't get the Song of the Siren in that big fight that happened near the Radiant Triangle about like 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If he can maintain the mana and potentially get that off, maybe they can look for something a bit more when these exchanges happen. Ball lightning in, go for Mickey. They've got the Vortex. They'll go to the Ensnare. The damage output. Mickey's just dead immediately. Whoa. They blew him up. Matuma Man, BKB, and still the Ensnare. Maybe not recognizing that the Naga Sirens here and there are ready to fight. But he tries to run. They've got the Vortex. The root is there. The Ink Swell lands. They'll take the Aegis out of the hands of Matamba Man. They'll finish off Boxy. He doesn't have buyback. He's actually dead for 70 seconds. They'll go to the Overgrowth from Saksa, just tanking the tower. They've got so much damage that they'll be able to finish off Matamba Man again. The BKB being popped by Zai is the last one to survive for now because they've just landed a root on him. They got the kill into Insania, and it's looking like it's going to be a full team wipe and will be for Tundra. Oh my. They brought it, and they brought it hard.
That is one of the strongest item timings that I think I've ever seen. This Naga and Snare Aghanim Scepter versus a 3 BKB timing just dismantled them. The BKBs in that fight did absolutely nothing. It actually almost kind of baited Liquid into fighting. The Overgrowth as well, working through the BKB. Like, you could see that Zai walked in. He's like, oh, I got my BKB. It's not nighttime. He doesn't have his ulti, so he's this useless Night Stalker being baited to walk in because his team is dying, and they have this really strong 3 BKB timing that they think they should be winning the game on. But Tundra, man, no, they've got the counter.
If they die again on Matamba Man, he needs to be careful about his positioning. They'll go to the silence. They'll look to get the kill on the Naga side with the BKB being popped by Mickey. But again, you've got this Axe. They go to the nighttime. They'll try to go in. Zai, Mickey, they've got the Naga surrounded, but surviving with the Ink Swell. And now the Song of the Siren. Sing me the song that puts me to sleep. I'll try to TP out and will. Whoa. They lose 3-3, but on the edge multiple times.
Yeah, that was
boy.
Very close. I mean, I think even if Skeeter dies there, it's still... I mean, that whole engagement that happened beforehand was such a disaster for Liquid that I think they need 2 fights to go, you know, where they kill Skeeter like that twice in a row in order to have it look actually good for them. They don't even get Skeeter. He just TPs out, barely survives. I don't know if he didn't get wholly locketed. It was straight up just barely surviving. Insania, he stole the zip and he almost nuked him to get the kill, but he zipped a little too short.
Oh, they're giving up on going for Saksa.
Oh yeah, the Ink Swell saved them.
Thinking about the Overgrowth, the rest of the team is far behind. Not going to get much help there.
This is the start of the. I mean, I don't want to say the end, but the disaster situation for Liquid was the long zip into picking off Mickey before he can get any of his spells off. You know, maybe even if he BKBs, he still dies to just the Naga Siren Aghanim Scepter. But once Mickey is gone and there's no buyback on him, it's just free reign for Tundra. None of the other heroes can clear these Naga illusions, and even Mickey's not that great at clearing them.
And here's the fight again. They'll try to go for the Naga Siren. 9 is in. Mickey taking a lot of damage, and
the Ink Swell heals so much.
Yeah, he pops, stuns 2, heals him up, goes to the song, and then almost dies still.
Insania actually did get the zip into
9 with the BKB. Mickey, he now pops his own BKB. They already got the kill on the Snake King. They'll take out the Grimstroke. Doesn't have buyback. And Song again to try and maybe save 3-3. Although Skeeter not really looking to fight. And, well, Skeeter kind of backed up enough where Matamba Man was able to get in there and just right-click down this Visage.
Well, Skeeter's the big boy in this game. I think if you're not losing him, it's that's all that really matters. I do think there's a little bit of pressure on 9 that Naga Siren's not the type of hero that likes to 1v5.
Right.
It always feels like you need some other core doing decently. They're going on 9. He has no BKB.
Yeah, they want to make a move. They want to continue to take advantage of this. He survives a little bit longer than necessary, which ends up allowing them to get the kill on his Zai. Box is taking a lot of damage. The Soulbind is out. Skeeter trying to get this kill, but he'll be Yules into the air thanks to this Death Prophet. And now, Ink Swell, that'll pop. It'll heal him up for a second, but it just won't be enough with him being under the Exorcism. So Mickey gets the kill. They both don't have buyback, and that's a big issue because they can take the tier 2 if they're able to push up the creeps. And maybe make Tundra feel a bit uncomfortable. Roche is up in a minute, so the timings are going to be pretty important here. And they can't even push the tier 2. It's just the Stroke of Fate clears up all these creeps, and Exorcism just doesn't have enough time.
Yeah, Liquid, they back off. They understand that. They're just going to farm up. Matumba Man's actually getting to the point. He's doing some decent damage, and with the Aghanim Shard, you can see how Naga struggles to get out of the Sprout, and presumably that's actually a big reason why 33 went for the Phase Boots. Phase Boots Quelling Blade is really the only way to deal with that, because or Force Staff, because you're leashed. So, well, presumably he's going to go for the leash talent. Maybe the mist, probably the leash talent. He's against Storm. So you need some sort of phased movement, and then also a Quelling Blade or a Force Staff. Like those are the counters. So somebody's got to get a Force Staff in this game on Tundra. Or they'll regret it, I think.
Yeah, that leash talent feels so strong for the Nature's Prophet at 20, and yeah, he's about to have it.
Especially with how the Aghanim Shard works, because you can't just cut your way out of it. You get blocked by a big tree, and it's like you're not killing that thing.
So Roche is up. They see it with the Treants, and we'll see if both teams set up for this, and if so, how. You can see that Skidoo's kind of just taking the entire farm priority. I know the panel at one point was talking about maybe 3-3 going into the Broodmother, but they would have been conflicting for farm just so much, at least based on how this game has gone.
Yeah, I agree. They would. They play similarly, like just consuming entire areas of the map with summons.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the panel alluded to too, right? Like it just would have been maybe a little bit too much and a little bit too conflicting. So nailed it right on the head there.
Smoke on smoke.
And Senius breaks, telekinesis slamming him down, but that doesn't land on anybody. I don't know if it's even going to matter though. They get the kill onto the Grimstroke. Snake King gone, but does have buyback. Use the exorcism. Might want to bail on this until that timing's over. See if they can get Roche beforehand. Roche doing a good job of bashing it out and just waiting for the right opportunity. Matumba Man goes in there. Nature's Grasp is down. Stroke of Fate. Roche getting low. They need to think about making a move. They'll blink in with Zai. The ball lightning in, but it's a little bit early. They've got the silence, and they're going for the Aegis. They get the kill and the Aegis. Nine's going to pick up the second life. They've got the Soulbind. They'll try to get the kills here to clean up now. Telekinesis up into the air as well as the silence. They'll get the Aegis out of the hands of 9. Now they've got the Ensnare, but the damage isn't coming out yet. There's the Song of the Siren. Sing them to sleep. Maybe they re-engage. Maybe they don't. They're thinking about it. They'll spin around. They're clicking their buttons looking for the APM. As now they start to run. Inkswell, Ensnare, that's going to be thrown out onto 33. Now they've stolen the Ensnare once again. Tundra kind of sticking close, like they want to make a move, but there's a little bit of uncertainty in their movements.
Yeah, they're afraid if they commit into this DP ulti that they're just going to completely melt to it. I thought Snake King made a mistake at first when he walks in and dies there, thinking like, oh, why would this squishy backliner support hero then get multiple rounds of spells off? Why would he run in first? It's because he has buyback. So he uses his buyback, he comes into the fight, gets multiple rounds of spells off. The Inkswell saved numerous times here. And yeah, they just kind of song and walk away. You're right, I think they were just not sure if they just want to take a better fight. If they can start a fight with a pickoff using the Storm, then why not have that be the fight rather than this awkward thing in Roche when you've already stolen the Aegis? So, like, what the hell? Why are you fighting that? For fun? Like, why not just wait until you get a better opportunity? You've already gotten the Aegis. That's the objective there. So I can understand why they left.
Yeah, come back with cooldowns, come back ready to go. They were very uncertain about what they wanted to do, and you could see, like, do we go, or if I go in, I might die. If I go in, I might die.
Yeah, somebody made a call there. They're like, all right, let's just get out. This is not good, guys. Otherwise, they would all be dead.
So, for the longest time, Skeeter was actually leading the experience over Matumba Man, but Matumba Man's taking about a 1-level lead. Now they've found 33 again. And it's so easy for these heroes, especially when there's no BKB available or any sense of immunity, where they just get the silence from Zion. They're able to walk right over them, especially if they're alone. And he's trying to build in the BKB, but he just hasn't gotten there yet. Zion far, and Snare gets bounced back thanks to the Lotus Orb, and he has now gotten 2 kills. He went from bottom to the jungle on the dire side. They've also got Matumba Man coming in, and the relocate. They were really trying to punish Tundra.
Tundra's so lucky they got spider legs. That is like the counter to this Nature's Prophet leash talent. It's very unfortunate. You can absolutely bet that Liquid is like, oh, come on, are you serious? Like they got that. It's such an impact. It might be the most, it's one of the most impactful neutral items to get against Nature's Prophet. Like I can't think of another hero combination where you really want a neutral item that will like be a game changer. Maybe like Fairy's Trinket on Storm. You know, but back when you could like pop Lincolns with the with the, you know, whip and stuff like that, maybe that was something like. But yeah, the spider legs are just so impactful in this game. Like you don't usually see it on Storm Spear, but he knows it's for the leash talent.
Yeah, he's got to survive. He's got to try and survive here as Tundra now actually don't have a net worth lead,
Top tower is under attack.
despite the fact they took that second Roche and got that Aegis. I believe they got the Shard too, and it either went on Storm or the Treant, but kind of lost track on that one.
Yeah. I tried to click in the fight and see who picked up the shard, but it was way too hectic. There's like too much stuff going on. And they do have a 4-staff on Soxa, by the way, which counters the leash talent. And the thing is, like, if you're countering a position 1 with an item, it's much more impactful than countering a position 3 Nature's Prophet with that same item, because they're relying on Matumba Man to carry the game. So if they're making his job harder to do that, then it's way more impactful than a hero that's not really trying to carry the game.
So Skeeter had gone to the Nullifier, now going into an Orchid and presumably a Bloodthorn. But how do you feel about the Nullifier coming out from Skeeter after this, Scotty?
I like it. I saw in like multiple fights there, Io was just pressing Ghost Scepter and surviving, and you know, when Io surviving at low HP is very devastating. Just gets multiple rounds of Holy Lock-in mechanism off and maybe even overcharge. So I think the Nullifier is definitely necessary. Pierces through BKB as well.
Right in onto the Death Prophet and will start to back away, but Nine needs to be careful because Matumba Man's coming through. There's those spider legs doing the work that they need.
I think 9 is going to hold on to these spider legs until the game ends, win or lose. There's just no way that you give these up. They're more value than any other neutral item you can get.
Maybe he'll hold like a secondary one if they end up killing the Nature's Prophet, but even then, yeah, like you said,
Yeah, maybe.
it's the main one.
Because it does go through BKB, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know that. For whatever reason, that talent, it just... BKB piercing, which I suppose makes sense because Sprout, you know, pierces through BKB. A lot of roots do, or at least did go through BKB. I remember for a while, Puck Coil was piercing BKB. Not the stun component of it, but just the root component. So you could use it to like cancel TPs and stuff, even if the unit was BKB'd. Not like that anymore, but it used to be.
So despite the fact that Tundra has maybe felt a little bit uncomfortable in these last few fights, they're going to still go in. They've gotten themselves the Ball Lightning as well as the Vortex. That's with an Ags here on 9. They have the Soulbind. There's the Yules up into the air with the BKB being used, but now they go to the silence out of the backline. Zai looking for this Grimstroke. Grimstroke already used the Soulbind. They go to the Song. That'll save the Grimstroke. They haven't gotten any kills here, so Tundra, they need to make a decision. Do we stay or do we go? And they are going to choose the latter. They will leave. They went for their opportunity. They didn't get it, and they go.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mickey's very tanky. He's built an incredibly tanky build. He's got the Yules to protect himself once he gets leashed up by or once he gets rooted by the Naga. If he doesn't die in the initial burst, which is very difficult to kill him with the boxy Io behind him and the Shiva's guard. I'm not sure how Tundra wants to take the fight. Like, I think they need to... They could try jumping the backlines, but I worry for them that if they jump the backlines, that Mickey and Zai are just going to kill their backlines while that's happening. And then Mickey and Matumba will kill Skeeter afterwards.
Ooh, Soxa.
Did they have vision?
Spirits no longer hitting, using it like sonar.
They do. They have a gem on...
Empty.
They have a gem on Zai, by the way, so... If they could cancel his tree movement, then he would have definitely died there. Yeah, I think Tundra needs to jump backlines. They need to jump backlines in a way where their backlines are not also dying at the exact same time. Which I think is possible, because I think Storm plus Skeeter can probably kill the backlines.
A lot of the focus has been on onto Mickey, where you see like Zai ends up being the biggest issue for them.
Yeah, because Mickey's like the value kill. If you can kill him, there's no damage on Liquid to clear the Naga illusions for the most part. So I think killing him is you just nullify like most of Liquid's damage. And so it's a really easy way to win the fight. But the problem is now it's looking like if Boxy is remotely close, you can burst him, or you can't burst him. So you can like maybe bank on trying to get Mickey plus Boxy at the same time. Like it's possible, but very difficult. Like what IO is going to be standing right next to the guy they're trying to save? You called it right at the start. He's playing this IO to save, not to do the map movements. Like he's standing just out of range and coming in with the tether. It's not about like relocating in to get kills. It's about saving people.
And that's not to say they haven't done it. Like they obviously they have.
Yeah, it happens usually with chases rather than like, oh, this is a gank from an IO. It's like you're chasing because the fight already started.
Yeah, but he certainly has, you know, sat in the right positions to save his players and save his allies to make sure that they can stay in this one. And they have. This game has been even for a long time. The biggest lead was really not that much, honestly. And we're taking a look at that fight with Roche. And you can see that 3-3 is kind of in an odd spot. And here's, you can see it. You can see by their movements. Do we stay? Do we go? Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And
then somebody made a call and they said, all right, just get the hell out, guys. Like if we don't know, then let's just go. Let's just get out.
Back, just back, just back.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta say, those are the most annoying type of people to get in pubs. The people that always call off plays but never suggest anything to make of their own. The people that are like, back, 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 get out, get out, get out. It's like, buddy, are we farming for the next game? What's happening here? It's a very North American problem.
Well, these are two very European teams.
Yes, in Europe, it's like, just run at them always. It's like, but I almost have a BKB. No, we go smoke. It's like, all right, okay.
Resuming back in. 4-man smoke from Liquid. They're taking the long wrap, and I honestly think they might even sneak this Roche. Or at least try. But I'm dumb, so I am probably making a very herald call at the moment. Who with the Visage Familiar is now spotting Roche.
There's pinging action happening. Yeah, they know that.
Oh, they're going to blink in. They'll look for the silence down in the skitter. They're going to bring in Matama Man immediately. The song comes out, the ball lightning onto the backlines. That stops Insania as well as this IO. They get the kill into Boxy. He's got buyback. Insania falls as well. Both these heroes do have buyback, and we'll have to see what they're able to do with this, as they'll both buy back immediately. They'll come back into the fight. They'll look over at the Naga Siren, who's now silenced Hex and being chased on, but they've got the ball lightning as well as the Vortex on a 2. Saksa surviving for the moment, throws out the Overgrowth, and he'll end up going down, but it's not before he ends up getting the save on Skitter for a little bit. It's not going to be enough, though. He just gets chased to his death. That happening, though, is while Matama Man is going down to 3-3. They've lost 3 heroes on Tundra. There were a lot lost on Liquid that were all forced to buy back. They know that Roche is available, and now the question becomes, can somebody save it? Side of Tundra, or can somebody take it on the side of Liquid?
Man, I mean, that was a very creative and high-skill way of taking the fight for Tundra. So they separated the fight with Song, and they isolated Zai so that Snake King could teleport out. That's how they went on the backlines while protecting theirs, was with Song. And still, the fight does not go well for them. That worries me. That worries me for Tundra, because that to me is like the perfect way of taking that fight. Now, I suppose within Aegis, things are different. Naga's gonna respawn if you do that if you do that another time. And I don't think it goes the same if Naga respawns.
To be fair, also, they did buy back on both their supports to immediately start that fight, right? Like, they got the pickups on Insania and Boxy, and then, well, they were right back into it.
That's true, actually. That's true. That's another issue with focusing the backliners first, is that oftentimes these guys have the buybacks. just the way that this fight was, the way that they took this fight was awesome. Like, Skeeter was just standing on the high ground, being a song, so that Insania and Boxy could get focused by his team. Even catching Mickey with the song at the end there, but yeah, I mean, I guess they just buy back, and then because of this, Skeeter's actually the one that's out of position, and then they end up getting him after taking down the support. So I suppose it does cost a lot of buybacks, but so does this Roche attempt that happens afterwards from Tundra. They had to buy back 3 heroes in order to get it.
Right.
So neither side really has, or both sides have crucial buybacks that are on cooldown now. So there's win opportunities for both teams, depending on who they can pick off in the next fight. Very even game at all stages.
So now also they're dealing with Aegis Cheese, and who's got the refresher? Storm. Okay.
Dude, people love Storm Refresher. Double Vortex.
Double Ags Vortex.
Yeah,
KB.
yeah. I feel like Storm players are also just the type of people to demand everything for the Aghanim sector. Although I couldn't see Mickey demanding for anything. I feel like his team just respects him enough to give it to him. Or 9. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, both is true. Probably. Sure. He's also going Refresher Orb as well, so.
Yeah, this is the build people really like on Storm. Witchblade, no boots, as many null tallies as possible, maybe a BKB in there if they have some silences and stuns. Hell, maybe just all null talismans BKB. And then you eat the Ags and get a refresher. That's the dream.
Speaking of eating Ags, Skeeter's going to try and get the Aghanim's Blessing recipe, has the gold for it, and that will open up a slot for his fresh, new, straight out the box mint BKB. Still has the tags on it.
Oh my god, he's got a backpacked Orchid and a BKB. So he's gonna get this BKB and just not be able to use the Orchid, even though he's consuming his eggs. This guy's rich, man. These are bougie problems.
This is I have 30k problems, which I've never experienced.
Yeah, that's a lot of dough.
Usually I'm wondering if I can just afford 1 Force Staff or wards.
Please give me my Glimmer Cape so I can save my team instead of myself.
Do I go yours?
Dire's bottom tower.
They're starting to put the pressure on the bottom lane. They do have the second life to work with, and Skeeter's got the additional life for another minute and 45 seconds. So let's see what he's able to accomplish here as the bottom set of racks are exposed and the familiars are doing some damage with the illusions.
Dude, those birds are
And
so
they're
tanky. Oh my god, that is not
That's
right.
ridiculous.
That's not right, bro.
Actually ridiculous.
What is this shit? Why is this so immortal? Oh, that's so stupid. And he's in the Ags form, so he can just sit there and hide. God damn. That AC Vlad's, I guess, is just very strong on Visage. Oh, here we go again.
Oh, they spotted him this time. They got a bird.
He does have resummons, though.
Aim, pull. Take one out.
Yeah, just one, though.
My man gives up on that. He moseys his way over on top and then goes to bottom. So he can clean up real well. And again, a little hesitancy and uncertainty from Tundra. Not really sure what they want to do.
Yep, once again, their best sieger is Visage, so it's, you know, once that one bird goes down, he doesn't want to waste the resummon.
And his wings.
I get it. I get it. Is he going to get the 1 extra familiar instead of the Gravekeeper's 10 armor? That's what I'm interested in.
Well, we saw how
remember
tanky those familiars were.
Yeah, but everybody used to go for the other talent. Okay, so he did go for the +1 familiar. Everybody used to go for the other talent, and then they had to nerf it because it was making the birds literally immortal. It was like a Gravekeeper cloak talent. Just damage reduction. Zai ulted, but he's got the Ascension cooldown, so he's just ulting to take out the wards. Lucky for Tundra, their wards are cleverly placed in the lane where you probably wouldn't expect them to be.
So now they're no
Does
longer
not find anything.
working with this Aegis, and Skitters short the buyback time by about 2 minutes.
You can probably still fight. It's just about getting the right start, like the right pickoff. It's all about looking at 9 and finding him jumping the right hero. Insania or Boxy would be ideal.
Yeah, they don't have buyback, but everybody else on the side of Liquid does. So the 3 cores are the ones who do.
Radiant are scattered.
So they're going to have to kind of defend against that and let their buybacks kind of come off cooldown, which is a minute 20 for the Naga Siren, a minute 20 and 350 gold for the Visage, 50 seconds for the Treant, and then Storm and the Grimstroke have it.
Yeah, both sides seem hesitant, and both sides seem to want to wait their buyback cooldowns, which I can understand. They're so close. Honestly, they're so close that probably it doesn't matter. Like, both sides are going to feel like right now they're going to have their buybacks up. So I think we could see a fight pretty damn soon. 33's looking.
He's searching, that's for sure. Got an extra scout. A 3rd familiar.
He's afraid, though, because he knows he's up against a gem. So if he runs into the wrong hero, it's just death for him. And then he can lose his gem.
Silent as the grave to move around. And they've got a Daedalus here on Matoma Man. The game has certainly gotten tense. Like, that bottom push didn't exactly happen, but the bottom set of racks are still exposed. You've got the mid set of racks gone for the longest time. Both these teams are contemplating whether or not they want to make the move.
Yeah, and they both have, like, they both have, like, big late game items on all of their cores, too. Like, Mickey is going for the Strength Blink. He's got the Sheep, Shivas. Night Stalker also. Yeah, he's got the Overwhelming Blink. Like, it's three heroes building carry items versus 3 heroes building carry items. There's not, like, offlane Mars with, like, Blink Force or something like that, you know, to like, weigh down a team. Like, all 3 cores on either side could pop off in the fight and carry the game. And at this point, like, you're getting to the point, 50 minutes plus in the game, where all of a sudden who the carry is doesn't matter. Like, the carry's true timing is not in the hyper late game. It's between, like, 25 to, like, 40 minutes. After that point, you unlock some of these late game talents, these 25 talents. You unlock Aghanim Scepters. So, like, supports become carries at this point. Like, Zai's permanently ulted, basically. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
40-second cooldown on that.
Ball lining in with the Vortex landing on a 2. They've got the telekinesis from the Rubik to send away the Death Prophet, but it's not far enough away from the Soulbind. They'll relocate one out. Mickey jumps forward, and now there's the Song of the Siren again to potentially leave this. It actually does stun up Mickey, and I'm not sure that they caught that vision. Foxy tethers him on the second end of that relocate, because I don't think it was that far away from the initial jump.
You remember at TI when people were booing the Naga Song of the Siren into Exit? I remember there was one TI where, like, it was Naga every single game, and they would just song and run away, and people would boo it. That's how I felt during that. I felt like booing there. Like, come on, get in there. But I understand the desire to take a better initiation.
Yeah. Well, as a viewer, I feel like you're just like, oh.
It's a buzzkill. It's a big buzzkill for sure.
All lighting in, Vortex once again, and they'll go for this Death Prophet and try and get the kill, but there's the blink forward from a Tumba Man trying to do the damage. Zyra on top of them with the silences coming in. They've got the BKB from Skeeter. They'll look over at Boxy. They've got the root thanks to the ensnare. Mickey, he's bought back into the fight. They get the kill into Boxy. He's got buyback, and now he might be forced to use it. There's a double damage over bottom if anybody wants to pick that up while this fight is going on. Zai over to the side, gets the silence out in a 3-3, taking a lot of damage. He's feared up thanks to the Spirit Siphon. They ball lighting in, but it's into the silence. They've used the Song of the Siren again, and 3-3 surviving, and TP's out. They bottle the double damage. They lose nothing on Tundra. The buybacks are forced. Liquid, not their best engagement, but they are right into Roche on this one.
Dire
All right, there's no Night Stalker ult or nighttime for 40 seconds. This is
Gotta
your
go!
best shot.
Oh, the Roche is killed, and the Aegis is on the ground still. Finally, it's denied by 33. He denies it instead, but they'll end up losing 9. He'll buy back into the fight. They've got themselves the Soulbind once again. That's going to connect up this Night Stalker over to the Nature's Prophet. Zai going to try and TP out the ball lightning as well as the Vortex comes in from 9. They'll get the kill on the Zai. He's got buyback as well. They've already expended 2 in the previous fight. They'll go for more. Mickey in trouble. Gets hit with a nullifier. They'll take out the Death Prophet for the second time, down for 2 minutes. The Soul Assumption lands on a Boxy. He's gone again for 2 minutes. They look over at Matoma Man. They've got this nullifier out onto Matu, and they'll get the kill there too.
That should be the game, barring some like insane defense. Without Mickey, this is going to be really hard to defend. It's going to be 3 versus 5. I love that in that fight, by the way, 9 refreshed to get his electric vortex up to take Matumba out, because now Matumba's going to have to buy back just to defend the throne.
To try and defend the throne. They're still over a minute without these extra heroes. The ensnares get thrown. The Lotus Orb is there to reflect it back at the Naga Siren. Slows them down for a little bit. They've got, well, right now the Ags for the Night Stalker to use that Void and try to deter them, but the Familiar is doing so much damage. They're going with the Dark Ascension. They've got the Silence. They look over at the Grimstroke. They've got themselves the Electric Vortex. They take out the Grimstroke. They'll take out the Snake King, but Zai, he is gone. 2 minutes without him. They've bought back on this Nature's Prophet. They've also got some help here from the Rubik. Rubik now with the illusions, but it's not going to matter. They'll take out Matumba Man. They'll take out Insania. The full team is wiped, and Tundra will take game 1, 52.5 minutes in.
Wow, what an insanely close game. Legitimately determined in the end by fighting around Night Stalker ulti being on cooldown for only 40 seconds. That's it. That's it. Up until that point, they had used about the same buybacks in every fight. They had cores that were all equally farmed. All of the cores could have carried the game. Just what a close matchup. I mean, if this is how the major is going to look, minus the Naga, the sleeping and running away, I'm excited for the major. If it's this competitive between all of the teams, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's certainly going to set up to be a fun one. Unfortunately, you now have reminded the crowd that they booed at Song of the Siren leaves, and if Naga does get picked up, I mean, it's a European crowd watching us now for the most part. I expect we're going to hear some boos. You've brought the boos back to the Naga Siren.
Sure,
Song of the
yeah,
Siren.
go for it. She deserves it.
Yeah, and so did that co-main event last night. So, I mean, it's interesting to see how close this game has been, how close this series has been, and at the end of the day, Tundra takes game 1, and it really is so back and forth that they just take it at the end by an inch. So it's a game of inches here between these two teams. Game 1 goes the way of Tundra. We'll take a quick break and then send it back to the panel. We'll see you guys in just a moment. Stay tuned.